fall. Carl Fredrickson cannot believe his eyes. What fate awaits our young wilderness explorer?
These days, it seems abnormal to have a major movie release without a video game tie-in based on the film. Like, they just didn't do that back in the day, like the 1940s. Some of the biggest movies in the 40s are without video games. Citizen Kane, Casablanca. It's amazing. Citizen Kane would make an awesome video game. Find that damn sled. Is this Warhawk or Up? I know your dog flying the airplane, it's Up. This is the game based on the movie Up.
Who would have guessed that this unlikely pair was headed for the adventure of a lifetime?
Look, if this game is the adventure of a lifetime for you, then you need to get out more, because while Up is a playable game, I found it to be extremely slow. But let's be honest, it's not aimed at me. This is aimed at your kids, our kids, everybody's kids, the children of the earth who enjoy the movie Up, which doesn't look terribly appealing to me. Like, I'll take anthropomorphized robots and talking rabbits, but I hear the movie's funny, but I'd rather watch cartoons about coyotes chasing a roadrunner that they'll never catch. It's always funny when he gets blown up by TNT.
More importantly, if we hang on to the house...
The gameplay in Up revolves around teamwork. You must work together for at least big parts of the game. I mean, it's one of these movie games where it's not the same kind of game the whole way through. Sometimes you're flying, sometimes you're adventuring. That's not really a verb, is it? I don't know. I may have just... Who cares? Giant coins aren't floating around the woods on balloons either. Here's an example of a scene where the two must work together to get over a cliff or something. I'm not sure what that is. This is on the Nintendo Wii. It's also on the 360 and other game consoles. It's a pretty big release, and it's the kind of game that you can play with a friend. So if you have two kids or whatever, you can keep them both busy, they can invite their friends over, and play Up together. I found the Wii controls to be a bit frustrating. You have to swing and fling your Wii controller around a bit. I usually prefer the kind of games where you actually just use buttons. And while some of the parts of the game are faster than others, what we're looking at here I found to be tedious and extremely slow. In general, I felt Up was a bit behind a couple other major movie-themed games, like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs I thought was fun, Ice Age, Monsters vs. Aliens, and Ghost in the Shell. If you're into more of the action games and whatnot, then Up probably will not be for you, but if your kids like the movie and like the other kind of, just silly kids games like Ice Age and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and whatnot, they may enjoy Up as well.
I might be able to shimmy across.
It's a technically competent game. It doesn't seem to have quite the size and scope of something like Monsters vs. Aliens. It's another game based on a movie, allowing two-player action, trying to use the Wii controls. Frankly, I think they should just make these as 2D side-scrollers like they used to, because they were just better games. If you're looking to keep the young ones occupied, there are plenty of things for them to do in Up, but don't expect anywhere near the creativity or ingenuity that you'd find in games like Yoshi's Island back in the day. Games for kids that were brilliant. Maybe somebody out there in game design land will hear my comments and say, yes, we do need a 2D side-scroller based on Citizen Kane. We could call it Rosebud. Just imagine that. The end boss could be his own mortality.
Hey, maybe it'll help if we can push that.